So Sean Hannity decided to explain to a caller the beef he has with socialism. This ought to be good.
We've had it so beautiful in now the latest generation has not suffered as much as some of our forefathers did, and I happen to because I'm an old guy.
You know something? I will tell you this. I always say every time I want to whine in life or complain in life, and I don't let my kids get away with that either. Because they had it so much harder. What you went through is so much harder. But in the end, it defines you. Like if you take away people's struggles in life, and that's what I don't like about socialism, because that you're literally robbing them of the opportunity to dig down deep within themselves and pull out stuff that they never thought was possible or even knew existed within them.
There's two important points to make in response to this. First of all, nobody is trying to take away all incentive in your respective lives. Nobody's trying to do that. Certainly nobody in the American political landscape. Nobody. Social democracy, which is what the so-called left-wing fringe is advocating for, social democracy is effectively about unrigging the system and really giving people equal opportunity. So we have something that actually more accurately represents a meritocracy. That's basically what the left-wing fringe in this country is advocating for. Hey, let's actually give people a shot. Let's do that. Let's unrig the system so we don't have one family of moocher babies, the Walton family, 6 of them having more wealth than almost half the country combined. That's insane. They didn't earn that. They didn't earn that, Sean. They didn't earn that. And if you're so concerned with taking away incentive, why does that not apply to the people born into the lucky sperm club at the top who inherit all their family's wealth? You don't even support the estate tax. Shouldn't you? Shouldn't you? But according to this rant, you should. Because, I don't want to take away everybody's incentive, and you got to have some struggle in life. So, the estate tax, it's, we got to bring that back. That's not what he says. But again, the real left movement in this country, the predominant left movement, there are some people who are further left, of course, they exist, but the predominant left-wing movement is about trying to unrig the system and trying to give people an equal shot. And in order to do that, the bare minimums, the basics have to be met. That's the whole point. You don't have an equal shot if you go bankrupt because you needed surgery on your spleen. Okay? But that's one example. Now, the second point to make in response to this is, Sean, which is it? I thought you said that socialism is going to make everybody poor and they'll struggle too much. But now what you're saying is socialism will, quote, take away people's struggle in life. Which is it? Does socialism make people struggle too much? Because everybody's poor and everybody's miserable and this system doesn't work, and so it's nothing but endless struggle, which is terrible. Or is it what you just said right here, which is socialism will, quote, take away people's struggle in life? So which is it? Socialism makes it so that we're all rich and comfy and it takes away all of our struggles? Or socialism makes it so that people struggle too much and everybody's poor and everybody's miserable and you can't... Like, which is it? See, but this is the point, guys. This is the point. This guy's a charlatan. This guy's a fool. This guy is a fucking talking point machine who's totally unaware of his contradictions. And listen, it depends. Whatever. You'll tune in on a Wednesday and he'll be saying socialism makes everybody poor and it's a terrible system. And you just heard on his radio show, tune in the next day, and he's like, it makes people struggle too much. So it's not about evidence. It's not about data. It's not about what really happens. It's just about, I'm Sean Hannity. I have defined everything that's left as bad, everything that's right as good. I'm going to work backwards from that conclusion. Even if I contradict myself on a daily basis. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. And you in the audience, you're just going to listen to me and like me because I represent the thing that you think you're supposed to like, which is Mr. America. Here I am with my square jaw. Not so square anymore. But when he was younger, it was. I'm Mr. America. An older white man with a square jaw. Is there an eagle behind me and an American flag? Yes, I represent Americana. Don't you love it? You should. he's a fraud. He's a fraud. And anybody who really watched his show with a critical eye, you would have been able to notice it from early on. He's not even one of the more convincing, commentators on the right. There's nothing about him it's just all doctrinaire, rah-rah Republicans. They're right about everything. Democrats are wrong about everything. It's not even an attempt to be intellectually honest. And this is just such a good example of it right here. He doesn't, I have zero respect for people who are engaged in political discourse. And all the years he's been involved in politics, and he literally couldn't tell you what the differences are on the left between the different factions of the left. He couldn't tell you. He couldn't tell you. He wouldn't know, a corporate Democrat from an actual leftist Democrat. He wouldn't know that. He wouldn't know the other distinctions further left, where some people are genuinely in favor of democratic socialism. Some people are in favor of social democracy. Some people want to democratize the workplace. Some people don't want to go about it through that avenue, but they want to go about it through a more statist avenue. He doesn't very, very, very basic things, if you're a political commentator, things that any of the left-wing commentators would know if you talk to them about. Sean Hannity, who's been a political commentator since I was fucking 10 years old, 1996. No, I was even younger. 1996, I was 8. He's been doing political commentary since I was 8, and he doesn't even know the basics. He doesn't even know, he wouldn't be able to say, okay, objectively, what is Bernie Sanders? He'll just say a socialist, and then he'll also, depending on his mood, he might say communist. And he wouldn't know. He wouldn't know the difference between social democracy and fucking communism. He wouldn't know. So, no respect for anybody like that. It shows you how big of a hack he is, and it's kind of embarrassing if you like him and watch him. But thankfully, there's no millennials who like him and watch him. Sean Hannity's got the 75-year-old, 85-year-old angry white man Republican demographic down. But everybody else sees him for what he is, which is a giant fraud.